back. Miss Beth here with Master Gardener Class 3. And we've been talking about how we take little tiny seeds and they grow. But you have to take care of the seeds. They need some different things to grow. They need water. They need sunshine. But some of them don't want too much sunshine, so you have to be kind of careful and make sure they get just enough sunshine, just enough water. They need fresh air. You can't take a plant and put it like in a closet with no fresh air and no water and no sunshine. They need certain things to grow and to flourish. And these ones have been flourishing. They've been outside in the fresh air and in the sunshine and giving them lots and lots of water. That's very important for plants. And I have a story today, and it involves water, as God is growing Abraham's family from a seed, and it's sprouting and starting to grow, and it takes a while. It takes a while. When you plant a seed, you sit there and you watch the dirt for a while, and you just watch it, and you watch it. And after what seems like forever, usually a week or two, you see this little green sprout come up. And you think, oh, it's growing, and it takes a long time. Those huge trees we see, a beautiful apple tree, might take 20 years before it's producing beautiful tons of apples. It'll start producing apples sooner than that, but it might take a few years before it's producing lots. And you have to be patient. And Abraham and Isaac had to be patient to get that promise of a blessing for the whole world. And I'm going to tell you one story on that trip to becoming a blessing to the whole world. So, Abraham and Sarah had Isaac, and Isaac has grown up now. He's a man, and they want him to get married so that he can have kids, so that they can continue the family tree and be a blessing to the whole world. So Abraham sends one of his servants back to his home country where he originally came from. And he sent him with camels and with gifts and stuff. And he said, go find a wife for Isaac. So he journeys all the way back there. And when he gets there, he goes to the well. And he's like, how am I going to find a wife for Isaac? So he prays, God, help me find a wife. Oh, here's the idea. I'm going to go and I'm going to sit. And I'm going to wait at the well. And as the young women come out to draw water. And God, let me know it's the right one if I ask her for a drink. If I ask one of them for a drink and she offers to give water to my camels too. And that'll be a sign that this is the one you want Isaac to marry. So he sits down to wait. And before long, this young woman comes out. And her name is Rebekah. And she comes out to the well. And the servant sees her and says, can I have a drink? And she says, of course, here is water, and you rest, let me water your camels for you. And he said, oh, good. So he gave her some gifts. And she took him to her home. And they went to her home, and the servant talked to her family, and he said, hey, my master Abraham, he's from here. And he wants a wife for his son, and he's wealthy, and here are gifts. He gives them gifts. And he says, can we take her home, and she can be Isaac's wife? And so the family agrees. And so Rebekah came back with him. And Isaac, here's Isaac, was out working in the fields when Rebekah and the servant came back. And she saw him, and she took a veil, and she covered her face, because that was the tradition at the time. And Isaac met her, and he fell in love with her, and they got married. And God provided a wife for Isaac so that Isaac could then have kids and continue to grow God's family, this family that God has blessed, and that he can bless the world through them. That's amazing. So what's the Christ connection? Every story in the Bible points us to Jesus some way. Well, in order for Isaac to have kids, he needed a wife. And in order for God to keep his promise that Abraham's descendants would be as numerous as the stars in the sky, Isaac needed a wife so he could have kids. And so God provided Isaac a wife. And they had kids, and their kids had kids, and kids, and kids, and kids, and kids, and guess who was a great-great-great-great-great-great-grandson? You're right, Jesus. Jesus. This is Jesus' family story. And we, as God's children who have been adopted into God's family and into Abraham's family, this is our family story too. It's awesome. I love it. So, let's look at our big question. Why can we trust God? We can trust God because He is faithful and does everything for His glory and our good. Abraham and Isaac trusted God to bring a wife for Isaac. They sent the servant back trusting God. The servant trusted God to bring the right woman and to show him which woman was the right one for Isaac. They trusted God. So God gave Isaac a wife to keep His covenant with Abraham. That's really cool how God provides the needs of the Father and now the Son. God is amazing, and He provides our needs too. That's awesome. So the plant is growing. It's growing. And next week we're going to hear about Rebekah and Isaac's kids. I'll see you next week.